I I think I'm gonna be sick. Okay, so this week's episode was Party Pooped, and it was something. It's rare that an episode actually makes me sit in silence for a few minutes after watching it. Hell, the last time it happened was when I saw a cancel out wedding for the first time, and I had to take a moment to process its pure awesomeness. So, why did this week's MLP have that effect on me? Well, it was because this was the first Pinkie Pie episode that I actually liked. Not tolerated, not barely stomached, but genuinely liked.
You fools! You've messed with the natural order!
Yeah. So what's good? I can't believe I'm saying this, but Pinkie Pie. Her characterization here was the episode's greatest strength. We were able to get a great performance out of her, exhibiting her best traits without having her be obnoxious like in other episodes. Part of what makes her ordeal so engaging is that she has to deal with characters that are more insufferable than she is. The Yaks. More on them later. The fact that she couldn't please them, no matter how hard she tried, created a situation for Pinkie that kinda reminded me of Lesson Zero. And because this story is more than different enough to stand out on its own, that's a good thing. The humor for this episode was on point, both with Pinkie and the rest of the main six while they waited for her to return. It was funny to see how bad they were preparing a party, and the various one-liners and visual gags made me either chuckle or burst out in laughter.
So, do we walk back up the slide or what?
What made most of these jokes work in comparison to other Pinky episodes was that they were clever. They had a point. They weren't there for the sake of being there, and that helps make this episode worthwhile. And of course, I love that we got to explore more of Equestria again. Revisiting Dodge Junction and Cherry Jubilee was like the icing on the cake. And having Pinky get so close to her goal only for it to backfire and send her all the way back where she began was just pure gold. So what's not so good? Very little, actually. My only gripe was that there were a few times where the episode just tried too hard to either tell a joke or make a point. Pinkie Pie's whole tangent about joining a band just wasn't funny, save for the end. And the Yaks, I think the episode was driving the point of them being reckless and overbearing a little too far at times. The first two scenes of them getting upset and destroying things were fine, but then they just kept hammering it in to the point where I just couldn't enjoy the joke anymore. But if this is all I have to say about the negatives of a Pinky episode, then that's pretty damn good if you ask me. Even as I make this video, I'm still in shock that I liked this episode. This is just a state of mind that I'm really not familiar with. Maybe I should rewatch too many Pinkie Pies to get my mind right. All jokes aside though, I'm glad that there's finally a Pinkie Pie episode I can actually enjoy. This could be a sign that Season 5 will be the season that makes me like Pinkie Pie, much like Season 4 did to the CMC. Or DHX could pull a Power Ponies and throw out all the development that we got in this episode out the window next week. I really hope that doesn't happen though. They really got something good here and I'd hate to see it go to waste. In the end, I'm glad to say that, despite the title, this episode wasn't shitty. Next week, we get to see Twilight reunite with some old Canterlot buddies, so we get a third consecutive episode of traveling, which is awesome. So, what did you think of Party Pooped? Let me know in the comments below or hit me up on Tumblr, and consider supporting me on Patreon or commissioning me for art via PayPal. Until next time, keep it sketchy, folks.